All right, guys, we're back. Up next, we have breakdown of Kendrick's "Not Like Us" video. Shout out to Rapaholics. For me, the video definitely met expectations. I definitely do feel like it was a huge dope moment for rap and for just the culture in general. I love the fact that him and Dave Free directed it. It really shows you they're really a creative force. PG Lang isn't just a music label. They do ad campaigns. They've done some pretty big ones as well. And they've also won like awards for their short films. So it's going to be interesting to see how they grow, especially with this new level of attention. You can arguably say that their stock has never been higher than it is now. So it's going to be really cool to see how they move. But yeah, we'll jump right into the video. Again, it's breakdown of Kendrick's "Not Like Us" video.
Guys, Kendrick Lamar just dropped one of the craziest music videos of all time with so many subliminal sneak disses aimed at Drake. And we're about to break them all down, but if you guys didn't know, Not Like Us is the record Kendrick just dropped a music video for. It is the #1 song in the country and absolutely put the nail in Drake's coffin, calling him a PDF file, a colonizer. And
at this point, it's definitely like song of the year. It's got to be #1 contender right now.
Having the entire world chanting "OV Ho." And apparently there's a remix to the record on the way, so stay tuned for that as well. But he just dropped the music video for the record, and this was one of the most hyped up music videos of all time, immediately breaking the YouTube record for the most views for a video in a single hour with one.
Damn, that was crazy. Literally, as I was reacting to it, it was already like at 800,000. That was like 20 minutes in.
1.3 million views in less than 60 minutes, which already has DJ Akademiks questioning if Kendrick is paying for views. And there are so many little nuances riddled within this video that completely shut down any allegation Drake made towards Kendrick.
Remember, guys, it's the music business, and all these artists are using streaming farms, even unbeknownst to them. At the end of the day, these labels are in the business of making money. This isn't just a new phenomenon. Even when like CDs was like the dominant media, there was like a portion of the budget that was dedicated to buying records. You might buy like 10,000 copies. It's the same thing that they do now to like kind of like play with the algorithm. It's such a vanity thing, but it's literally just to attract more sales. We're going to fluff up the numbers a bit just to make it look better.
While also cleverly sneak dissing Drake throughout the entire video, and ultimately showing Drake he is not like us. He is not in the same league as Kendrick. Now, the video was directed by Dave Free, which is Kendrick's business partner from day one, and Dave Free also makes an appearance within the music video. Now, why this is so substantial is because in Drake's diss tracks against Kendrick, he was claiming that Kendrick's fiance Whitney was having an affair with Dave Free, and that they actually have a child together, that the son of Kendrick is...
that had to be one of the reasons why like Kendrick snapped as hard as he did, man. There were certain things that like if Drake wouldn't have addressed, maybe if Drake never mentioned Whitney, the beef would have played out a little bit differently.
Actually Dave Free's son. And Kendrick said the whole time, "Don't tell any lies about me and I won't tell truths about you." And this video quickly disproves this lie that Drake made, as Dave Free is appearing numerous times throughout the video and even directed the thing, showing that there's no issues between him and Kendrick like Drake had alleged.
Well.
There's some other crazy rumors that Drake made that are also quickly put to rest within this video, but we'll get to that later on. See, the video starts off with a snippet of a brand new song by Kendrick, basically teasing that he has new music very soon on the way. In the snippet, he raps, "Reincarnated, I'm a stargazer, life goes on, I need all my babies, woke up looking for the broccoli, high key, keep a horn on me, that Kamazi. IP, the ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet." Now, it's going to take some time to dissect these lyrics.
Yeah, man. If that snippet is any indication of the album, it's kind of what I was expecting, which is probably the smartest move, is to really lean into like the West Coast sound. And I feel like that's a recipe for major, major success, especially with like how his platform has raised. He was always, dude, one of the elite rappers. His last tour, that Big Stepper tour, they try to clown the album like it's not a freaking great album. That tour at the time was like the #1 highest grossing tour ever by a rapper.
But off the bat, when he says IP, the ownership, the blueprint is by me, that's in direct reference to Drake's claims that Kendrick does not own the profits of his music, as he claimed on his diss track Push-Ups that Top Dog, the owner of the record label that Kendrick is signed to, basically takes 50% of the profits of Kendrick's music. Kendrick is saying that now he's a free agent with his own record label, PG Lang, and so the ownership is completely by him, as well as the IP, the intellectual property.
I can totally believe that, but it wouldn't be unheard of. Like, a lot of these rappers do have like finder's fees set up when they sign, when you get signed. there's people that are perpetually in Drake's pocket since early on, so it wouldn't be surprising.
He also says, I get off at my feet, which is another reference to Drake's diss where he says, how are you big stepping with a size 7 men's arm? Basically making fun of Kendrick for having small feet. Kendrick flips that here by basically saying, I get off and mop feet, which basically means
you could tell the difference, like how surface level some of the Drake like bars were. You know, they were super surface level. When a lot of the Kendrick stuff where you had double, triple entendres, like 4 or 5 meanings to it, however you dissect it, it was a stark contrast.
He's sweeping Drake up off his feet. He's destroying him. He made the same reference in Euphoria where he said, Pusha T is Terrence Thornton and Kendrick is Terrence Crawford and he's whooping feet. Now, it's also important to know that even the release date of this music video was super calculated, as Kendrick released it on July 4th, which is America's Independence Day. He also did his pop-out legendary West Coast concert on Juneteenth.
Yeah, Drake is never going to lose that colonizer. He was always kind of seen as a culture vulture, because people have noticed him switching up accents and kind of just using these other genres just to like keep the heat going. He's not going to really ever escape those titles. I don't really think so.
Juneteenth is the day that commemorates the day when the final 250,000 slaves left in America were officially declared their freedom. Now, these dates are crazy considering all of Kendrick's diss songs have been aimed at saying that Drake, a Canadian, is a colonizer of African-American culture and has no true identity of his own. Now, the video starts off with Kendrick in a room surrounded by a bunch of dancers from Los Angeles, with each one of them wearing red and blue flags tied together and shirts that had the colors red, blue, and white on them. Again, referencing the colors of the American national flag, and the blue and red rags signifying the unity that Kendrick is bringing to gang members within his city. The scene that follows that depicts Kendrick in a black room with dim white lights, which is an exact recreation of the second part of Drake's Family Matters music video, where he's driving to go have the van from the Good Kid, Mad City album cover.
And somebody also commented on one of the videos that had like a Stranger Things feel, like 11, you know?
Covered, smashed. In that scene, there's also a man wearing a black shiesty mask, which is the same look that Drake rocks in the Dark Lane Demo Tapes album cover. Reference. In the video, that man tries to jump at Kendrick and he quickly gets blasted away. Now, there's multiple cameos in this music video that play strong significance. One of the most significant is the appearance by DeMar DeRozan, who's an NBA basketball player who was once on the Toronto Raptors and got traded for Kawhi.
He was just like on Shannon Sharp's podcast not too long ago. Think how much love he had for Drake. You know that hit Drake hard, man.
Leonard. He's an LA native, and Kendrick actually rapped on the Not Like Us record saying, I'm glad D-Rose came home, you guys didn't deserve him either. Again, every scene in this video is super calculated. This is followed up by Kendrick in a scene that looks to be a prison, where he's just doing push-ups. This is in reference to Drake's diss record Push-Ups, where he raps, Top told you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups. Now,
bam, I bet you that's the reason why he had that breath control at that concert. The bro did not skip one beat, didn't drink one sip of water. Like the dude's cardio was on point. This is probably why, fam.
This diss was in reference to the viral video of Kendrick in the backyard doing push-ups to some old school R&B music. And Drake is saying Top Dog, the owner of the record label that Kendrick is signed to, is telling Kendrick to drop and give him 50 like push-ups, meaning that Top Dog is telling Kendrick to give him 50% of the profits of his music, similar to how someone would tell you to drop and give him 50 like you're doing push-ups. So Kendrick is just absolutely trolling Drake to the highest degree throughout this entire video. He proceeds to beat up an owl piñata, and on the screen there's a disclaimer saying no OV hoes were harmed in the making of this. Now this scene
Yo, Ma, you're okay. You're okay, man.
Has several different meanings. Obviously, the piñata being an owl is in reference to the fact that Drake's OVO logo is an owl. It's also the fact that piñatas are famously known for being an activity at a kid's birthday party, and Kendrick throughout all of these disses is accusing Drake of being into younger women. And an owl is also a predator animal, meaning that it gets its food from other animals, and Kendrick again is calling Drake a predator throughout this entire record. So when Drake was asking Kendrick for quadruple entendres and lines that have like 4 different
he not only did it in rap, he did it visually.
Meanings. I don't think he was expecting Kendrick to not only come with diss records that had bars that had multiple meanings, but also music videos that had layers and layers of meanings to each scene. It's insane. Then when the famous A minor line plays throughout the video, Kendrick is depicted doing hopscotch, which is another kid's activity. Again, Kendrick is accusing Drake throughout this entire record of being into little kids. And
then he also used the crowd, chanting it too as well, which is really, really dope. It gives, honestly, way more depth to it, and it kind of like conveys the magnitude perfectly.
Shown in the video doing little kid activities. What's also substantial here is on the hopscotch, there were the letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And on this record, Kendrick rapped, "How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Meaning that Kendrick dropped 5 diss records against Drake, but he also had another 5 in the tuck waiting to release. So as that famous A minor line plays, Kendrick is doing hopscotch all the way up to the number 10. Again, trolling Drake for the fact that he has 10 diss records to drop on Drake if Drake decides to re-engage.
It's crazy because Drake has kind of like subliminally, like, he's kind of been really sassy with his like posts lately. And it seems like somebody that's trying to re-engage. And I kind of like, dude, you gotta be careful how you move, because if you re-engage and then you get rocked again for the second time in a row. I keep seeing Camila Cabello like include Drake in like some of her like IG posts, and if you look in the comments, it's littered with OV ho. It's littered with like, oh, we F with you, but like, nah, please not Drake. And it's just literally all that type of stuff, like A minor. Anybody that's doing anything with him right now is getting that type of treatment. It's nuts. I feel like the only safe haven really is like the Drake subreddit. That's because they all like, dude, they're all like caved in there right now. Really, really, it's crazy to see like these parasocial relationships and how everything is moving and stuff like that, because people are really taking these beefs really personally, as if it was like a family member involved.
Engage within this beef. Other notable appearances include a scene with his entire record label, everyone from Absol, J-Rock, Punch, and Top Dog from TDE, showing you that these are all his day ones, and completely discrediting any claims that Drake made that his record label was exploiting him, or that he had splits with any of the guys that he was associated with.
Bam, they created something really special with TDE, like, and there's no denying it. Punch has like stood up for Kendrick the whole time, you know what I mean? They stayed solid, man. They stayed solid, so it's not like, that was dope to see though, like the black hippie together, just the whole TDE in there. And it's like, even though Kendrick's not on the label anymore, obviously, I feel like they still have a great working relationship. Like, dude, they're still like getting together to do like these giveaways and stuff like that. It's dope. It's awesome to see. They have to have mad respect for each other.
Another scene shows Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free dancing in front of a bunch of shipping containers, and this could be alluding to the containers that are used to traffic humans, which is again in reference to the disses that Kendrick aimed at Drake, where even Drake said he knew that Kendrick would take the
like, at face value, most people wouldn't even notice this stuff.
Jeffrey Epstein angle against him. Where, if you guys didn't know, Jeffrey Epstein is notorious for being one of the most disgusting human traffickers of all time. There's another scene in front of the Compton courthouse where Kendrick is singing with thousands of people behind him, showing that he most definitely gets more love in his own city than Drake gets. And one of the final, most scathing scenes within this video is
people see the palm trees and I don't think they realize how active LA gets. You got to be really careful, man. Kendrick right now is in rare air. Like, the dude is hot right now. The dude is having a career year, and this is somebody that's already won like 17 Grammys. Like, it's like, how much higher can you really go? But yeah, it seems like he's making every right move, and at the end of the day, like, you're only really seeing him when it's like either dropping music. You saw him during like the graduation ceremony where he did the speech and the concert, but other than that, it's like silent. You're not seeing him tweet. You're not seeing him like post on social. At least him, he's been really, really like private, which I think it adds like a level of mystery. But when you do see him, he's just seems so much more relatable, which I think definitely makes a huge difference, especially when you're getting the public on your side. Dude, he's relatable. He's amongst the people.
Is when Kendrick is standing next to his fiance and two children, which completely shuts down any rumors that Drake made.
You know what's crazy? They even like orchestrated her whole like deactivation of her Instagram account, basically to like kind of like throw some doubt on their relationship and stuff like that. And people played into it. It's freaking hilarious. It is nuts how like methodical a lot of this stuff was. Like, it's been calculated. Like, even the concert, going through the set list and you're hearing the bars and now putting everything together, in hindsight, you're like, oh, dude, this guy's been like planning this shit forever. He's felt this way like for years now.
That Kendrick was having any sort of marital issues with his fiance. Drake claimed that Kendrick abused her. Drake claimed that they were no longer together. And he even claimed that the worst, that Kendrick's son was actually the son of his managers, Dave Free. that Kendrick's fiance Whitney was having an affair with Kendrick's manager.
Bam.
You can tell by seeing Kendrick and his...
That is flagrant, man. To think that that wouldn't incite some type of rage in like a father, dude, you'd be like an idiot to think that, you know. And obviously Drake went and did it, and that honestly led like Kendrick to like be no holds barred. And look, they look like they're having the times of their lives. Like super dope. This is super dope.
Son face to
Even
face,
this whole set,
that they are most definitely
I want to say
related.
has
that child is
double
definitely
meaning.
Kendrick's. I mean, just look at the ears. You could tell. And Whitney is dancing as Kendrick is rapping "Ovie Ho" and he a fan, showing that she's in on this, that there's no issues between them, and that everything Drake said was fabricated, was a lie.
Yo, they so LA, fam. They are so LA.
And that all of the disses he threw at Kendrick really had no substance to them. The most scathing scene of this entire video for Drake must be when Whitney is crip walking to the outro of the record. The last scene of the video is Kendrick staring at a cage with an animal inside of it. And at first glance, you can't tell if that animal is a rat or what it is. But eventually, as Kendrick steps away, you realize that it's an owl.
That owl is so creepy, too. It not only is like a metaphor, obviously the owl being the OVO mascot and caged up. The imagery in the video is amazing. Shout out to Dave Free and Kendrick, because they wrote an awesome treatment and they really directed the hell out of this video. They treated the video like Kendrick treats his songs. I mean, when you're writing a video treatment and you have like a Pulitzer Prize winner, yeah, man, it's going to be fire.
Which again is in reference to Drake and the fact that an owl is a predator animal. Now, Drake fans or DJ akademiks could say whatever they want. They could say that Kendrick is riding off the hype of this song and that Kendrick fans only eat when he's dissing Drake and that he doesn't release any other.
Yo, fam, every album this guy has dropped has won a Grammy, whether it's like album of the year, song of the year, performance of the year, whatever it may be. Dude has 17. Like, I've said it many times, it's more than most of these people. But yeah, like, you can't really say that. And why wouldn't he? At the end of the day, it's the music business. This is like, I don't think these people realize, yes, it's art, but it's also a business. And these people are in the business of making money. You capitalize on this stuff. If they're literally treating these records like this and these videos so methodically, like, that arena was already booked for a minute. You don't just like book an arena the next day. I bet you they had that arena booked when, like, dude, when they first started seeing the buzz with all this stuff. Like, it had to have been. He was already probably going to do something that day, whether it was for this, for like a Not Like Us and just like a victory lap, like maybe not, but they definitely had this planned. But to think that they're not going to capitalize on this, and like even like by like the way the snippet sounds, it sounds like they're going in that direction. Yeah, man, they're playing this super smart, and that's why they won, and that's why, like, honestly, it looks like they're going to continue this streak. It's going to be interesting to see how like everyone else pivots around them, but like PG Lang is all eyes on them right now.
Music. But he's showing you otherwise. He's premiering new music within this video and showing you that this is an entire troll against Drake. And by hopscotching to the numbers 1 to 10, he's showing you that he has many more diss tracks in stock in case Drake ever decides to step back into this beef. I also forgot to mention that DJ Mustard, the producer of the record, is seen in the video wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat, which he claims was not an intentional diss at Drake because he got a bunch of different hats customized.
Nah, but different hats, like in a lot of cities, have different meanings. You feel me? Especially in this culture. So the Toronto hat means something different. It's like a Yankee hat means something different in parts of LA. It gets crazy.
And he just happened to wear the Blue Jays hat on that day. But obviously, even if it wasn't intentional, Drake is from Toronto, and the producer of this massive record wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat in the video that's directly trolling you for 5 minutes straight just stings incredibly hard, whether it was intentional or not. So all in all, this was just an incredible performance by Kendrick. He put tons of rumors to rest, whether it was the fact that he was split up from his former peers and record label, whether it was the fact that,
like, the big narrative running on him was, oh, he couldn't do a radio record, or that he needed 4 years to write music and he would never be able to like respond in time. They were all proven erroneous. Dude, I saw that Mark Rubin photo that's been like floating around and Drake in there. Definitely seems like, yo, dude, this is weighing on him, man. Like, and this stuff ages people. Like, who knows? This is for him unfamiliar territory as well. He's never really like, there's always been people calling him corny, but now it's like, yo, fam, like, yo, it's looking wild for him. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how like he pivots. I don't know, dude. You almost have to just let the moment ride out. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. The song more than likely is gonna have legs for a minute now, especially with this video. Who knows? We are far away from like the Grammys, I want to say. So like, it's gonna be a minute, and a lot of times people are prisoners of the moments. But so far this year, this definitely seems like the #1 contender for like not just like video of the year, obviously, because look, dude, it did 1 million in less than an hour. But the fact that this record and this beef have been the hottest thing in music, it's got to be, like, arguably speaking, at least. And yeah, the Grammys are smart. The Recording Academy is super smart. A lot of their picks and winners are people that they think would benefit like ratings and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see. But this definitely to me is a favorite so far.
His manager was having an affair with his wife, whether it was the fact that he was even with his wife still or not. He was uniting his city on America's Independence Day, showing that he has deep ties to his culture and his city and is doing his best to unify his people and bring peace and pride to them. He's also playing Drake's game as best as he could by trolling Drake with multiple subliminal disses throughout this entire video, creating memes that'll last forever and doing exactly what Drake should have done when he dropped back-to-back against Meek Mill. Like, imagine a back-to-back music video with a Nicki Minaj lookalike where Drake was...
Yeah, but people are saying that, like, Kendrick is, like, riding, like, this record too long. No, Diddy. That back-to-back record played for, like, a year. And people have no problems when, like... dude, God's Plan? For the better part of a year, at least, I want to say, it was on top. And, like, dude, these, like, these talking points weren't used for, like, records like that. So, like... I don't know. I just feel like because of the situation not being you this time, now a lot of Drake stans want to come out and say that like Kendrick only has a career because of Drake, or like, dude, they're writing this like Not Like Us record way too long, or that he only has that and that's the only reason why he's like relevant. That I think that's just pure delusion. But it's interesting to see how people can like create these narratives and really it seems like they believe them.
Was just trolling Meek for an entire 3 minutes straight. Kendrick is playing the game right, putting all the rumors to rest, and making this song even more important than it was. Damn. Not only being a victory lap for Kendrick throughout this entire beef, but also being a staple and a sense of pride for his entire community by unifying the West Coast, bringing this video back.
Damn, he's had like 2 or 3 events, and they've all gone on without a hitch. The dude, it wasn't just a moment for hip hop. It definitely has had like a social and cultural impact, for sure, for sure.
Back to his hometown and celebrating the essence of what the West Coast is known and loved for. So what do you think Drake's next move should be? Should he just ignore this? Let the hype of this song and this video die down and release something once everyone has kind of stopped talking about this and the dust has settled? Or should he re-engage in this beef and drop his own hit record that's also a diss record and play the same game that Kendrick is playing? I mean, again, Kendrick did say that he has 5 more records tucked in the stash, so I would love to see this beef reignite and see Kendrick actually dissing Drake again. It's very possible with the small references he made on the sample at the beginning of this video that he might be dissing Drake again on new music that he's about to release. And what do you think's next for Kendrick? Is he going to wait a while, let the hype of this ride out, and then drop an album? Or will he drop...
Now, you see, that'd be a terrible business move. Like, of course not. Of course, look at how they're planning everything. Everything has kind of been building. You know, if you think this album's not coming, it might be a surprise album. There might be no, like, this is all the promo you need. That could drop right now, and, like, millions of ears are going to be tuned in instantaneous, looking for, like, another Drake diss, or just, like, seeing what Kendrick's going to do on his album. This could be, especially with the emotional high he's been riding, it could be his best work. Honestly, it couldn't have been written any like doper than how it's been going for him. Yeah, PG Lang is definitely on the map.
Drop an album sooner than we think, as he's already teasing new music. All I know is that if he plays his cards right, this could be the biggest release he's had in his entire career, easily selling 1 million copies in the first week. If he ships this album out with vinyls, and if the singles are as strong as a record like
that, it's gonna go at least 800,000. At least 800,000 first week.
Not Like Us. And I must have missed a couple things. I mean, it's only been out for like 3 hours, this entire music video, but let me know what I missed. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what's next for Kendrick.
Yeah, man. Did we expect anything less than a bunch of double and triple entendres also in the imagery of like the video? I love the record. I love the song. I definitely feel like it's not just like a music thing. It's definitely had a cultural impact. and it's dope. It's gonna be cool to see, like, all right, how the West does now, because it can't just be one artist that like holds down the whole thing. You're gonna have to have other artists step up, and it's gonna be cool to see, especially with these new eyes. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the video. Like, did you guys expect anything less than like all the dope imagery that they was able to put together? Let me know in the comments. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, the channel is moving super, super dope. And yeah, let's keep it up. Hope you guys love the video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Fire.